And the one with the rifle gets killed! The one who is following picks up the rifle and shoots!
Welcome to my new series, Pick Up the Rifle and Shoot, inspired from one of my favorite movies, Enemy at the Gates, which introduced me to the Mosin Nagant, my gateway drug to the world of milsurp firearms. I remember like it was yesterday, Mosin Nagant's going for less than $100, and spam cams for $80, the perfect start to get into milsurps. My first Mosin Nagant was manufactured by Tula in 1934, with all matching serials and with the coveted hex receiver. But I wanted another one that was used in wartime, one that was heavily used, one that was heavily refurbished, and luckily I found one. And here she is, my 1942 Ishivest Mosin Nagant 9130 round receiver. I acquired her from Axis Arms for $275 in 2018, and she has stayed in the safe until now, late 2020. I gave her a good deep cleaning, adjusted her firing pin protrusion, and checked her headspace, and she passed with flying colors. Her bore is dark with slight pitting, but she has profound lands and grooves, good rifling from the chamber all the way up to the clean, crisp crown, and she is not counterbored. Her serials have been scrubbed off, except on the receiver, and all other parts are force matched by electro-pencil, indicating she was refurbished heavily with a mixed match of parts, which I believe even includes the stock. You can see how well the electro-pencil serials were applied on the bottom of the internal magazine, on the metal butt plate, and on the bolt. And so I made it my priority to make her shootable and range ready. I learned from my first Mosin that they always shoot very high, which can be challenging at the range, but also very annoying. I also prefer not to shoot with the bayonet, as some Mosins were zeroed with them on, and I also do not want to make any permanent changes on my milsurps. So I feel this is the best option so she doesn't shoot very high. All it takes is a simple 12 gauge copper insulated wire cover you can get from most hardware stores. This one I got from Home Depot. This wire cover is very stiff and sturdy and can be easily shaped and cut to any height. I stripped off a long piece, removed the plastic coating, and cut various heights to test on the range. I used sandpaper to level off the cuts to make them as straight as possible. Then they would just install from the top hole from the protective globe and slip over the stock front post. There is something different between my first Mosin and this wartime used Mosin. The feeling is inexplicable. But what a story she would tell if she could talk. But her story can still be told by showing her to the world like this, and what she can still do after 78 years. Off to the 25-yard range. My goal was to zero my Mosin like I would zero my AKs. Put the rear sight at 2 and adjust the front sight until all the rounds hit center mass, point of aim, point of impact at 25 yards. This method worked well with my first Mosin. It even allowed to use the rear sight at 1 for 50 and 100 yards. The original height of my front post is 0.30 of an inch, so a taller front sight would be needed to bring the shots down, since Mosins already shoot high. I cut 3 lengths, 0.40 of an inch, 0.38 of an inch, and 0.35 of an inch. After testing the different front heights, 0.35 of an inch gave me exactly point of aim impact at 25 yards. I did have to adjust windage just a smidge to get her to hit right on center of the bullseye. These 3 rounds confirmed that 0.35 of an inch was the correct height for my rifle with the ammo that I'm using. Next, I brought her out to 200 yards to confirm how the 25-yard zero would do at this distance. With the sights untouched and using the 6 o'clock hold, I proceeded to shoot 5 rounds. The target I'm using is the NRA-C 200-yard target, which has a 13-inch black circle. I also put on a Shoot and See 12-inch circle target, so I can see my hits on my spotting scope. The first circle is 4 inches in diameter, and the second circle is 8 inches. I took a walk down range to confirm what I saw in my spotting scope. A 4-inch group. I am impressed. However, I believe 5 rounds is not enough. In my opinion, 10 rounds gives the shooter the best measure of what their rifle is capable of, and what they're capable of. So back to the firing line and load up another 5 rounds. Three more rounds hit in the same area, with the exception of 2. And those 2 I knew I messed up when the shots went off. However, the other 3 hit consistently, and most of all 10 rounds hit within the 8-inch second circle. My Mosin can do 2 to 3 MOA at 200 yards. I am impressed. It is also worth noting that my Mosin is not accurized, and that the only other thing I've done besides the front sight height is torquing down action screws to 30-inch pounds. Also, the ammo I'm using is not surplus, just plain old steel case. I ran out of surplus tins years ago. Well, there you have it. My 1942 Ishivest Mosin Nagant, able to show the world that she can still do it, even with the best of them. I can only imagine how many she has under her belt, if you know what I mean. To this date, I put about 300 rounds so far without any mishaps. Her story continues on, and I'll be sure to do more follow-up videos in the future. Thanks for watching.